Welcome to week 2 of the playoff series in 2011. It's Huddersfield against Leeds, and Huddersfield ended a 50-year-old hoodoo back in April when they won at Headingley for the first time since 1960. Leeds lost at Wembley against Wigan. The defeats left them hungry for Old Trafford. The team news: the Huddersfield coach Nathan Brown has wielded the axe. David Hodgson's left out. Andy Raleigh and Danny Kermond also don't make it this week. Importantly for them, Leroy Cudjoe returns, as does Joe Wardle in the three quarters, to give what Brown hopes is a more balanced look to his side. Up front, Graham Horne, who was in the centres last week, is at loose forward tonight. Luke Robinson comes off the bench and he starts this week. On the interchange, Dale Ferguson returns after missing out 7 days ago, and he got 2 tries in Huddersfield's first Headingley win in 50 years when the two sides met there in April. Leeds have won 3 in a row since Wembley. They're unchanged again. Brett Delaney continues in the centres. Carl Ablett is still out. Ryan Hall got 2 tries in the win here a fortnight ago, the last of the weekly rounds. Up front, it's as you were aware. Magnificent last week against Hull, and he looks to be getting back to his best. And there's no change on the bench either. Ryan Bailey successfully appealed against a one-match ban last week, and so it's a settled and unchanged 17 for Brian McDermott. And the conditions here absolutely perfect, and when this Leeds team emerge, they will be welcomed by a crowd that is certainly outnumbering its Huddersfield counterparts. But you can see Earl Crabtree revving up the boys there in the Huddersfield dressing room, and they know this really is their point of no return. The two Kevins lead the teams out: Kevin Brown of Huddersfield, Kevin Sinfield of the Leeds Rhinos. A big night this week, 4th against 5th, the first meeting of teams finishing there since the top 8 was introduced in 2009. Last year the Giants got to within 80 minutes of Old Trafford as well. The young Huddersfield fans hoping that this is going to be their night, and well, Graham Horne will be hoping the switch back to loose forward will assist him. Big Kylie Lulawai, and well, 80 minutes and it's do or die for these players here. Danny Medeiros looks keen. The referee is Phil Bentham. We're just about ready to get underway. Perfect conditions, pitch magnificent, no rain, not a breath of wind. This has all the makings of a classic, and it's a cup tie in every sense of the word. Sinfield gets us underway, and here we go.
And this should set the pattern, the first impact. And it's pretty good there. That's a great run. That's what they need.
It's the man who'll be in the tattooist chair in a few weeks' time, Darrell Griffin, who was driving that forward.
I think you're right, Eddie, as well, that Graham Horne switched back to a more favoured position at loose forward. He looked somewhat lost out in the centres last week. Nathan Brown, the Giants coach, fully aware that they did not appear to be enjoying the game, and they know they've got to really give it everything tonight, and I think they will. Against the Leeds side that's cock-a-hoop, they really are firing on all cylinders. That's touched, that should be play on. What's the chase like?
The chase isn't bad. The referee shouted play on, and that's a wonderful chase from the Huddersfield Giants.
Well, it was obvious that Huddersfield were going to start in an aggressive manner here. Now, are they able to cope, I should say, with the Leeds players here? They couldn't handle the physical approach that Warrington provided last week. They made too many metres in the tackle, even before it. And Brett Delaney spinning away from 2 and 3 is another example of the problem that Huddersfield had last week.
Delaney has brought down tackle number 3, 10 metres inside their own half. That's Haraki. This is Sinfield. Square pass and looked a bit forward that the referee doesn't blow.
It seemed to go drifting away, didn't it? But they got away with it. Well, that's good work in and around the play-the-ball area. They were fascinating last week against Hull. They really did control everything out in the park.
Nice little dink through by Sinfield, but it's picked up by Leroy Cudjoe. What a story, this fellow. He was ruled out for the rest of the season just 7 days ago, but here he is back and playing in the playoffs, aiming to get the Giants to within 80 minutes of Old Trafford. And Michael Lawrence, he and Cudjoe will probably swap positions during the course of this match. Falongo gets the ball wide to Wardle. Scrambling Leeds defence, quick play the ball. And here is Kevin Brown, gets the ball away to Keith Mason. And Mason is halted by 3, and down he goes.
Well, already we've seen far more enthusiasm shown by the Giants than complete 80 minutes last week. And this guy's going to be important. It's a high kick.
It's spiralling all over the place. Webb is underneath it though and takes it cleanly. But Gilmore and Brough following up. They're the men who bring him down.
Good composure as well by Gilmore. He knew he wanted the fullback to take it first before he made contact. They really were lacking in discipline, were the Giants last week, and they really have worked hard this week. They had to. They were giving away 30, 40 metres all the way through last week.
Yeah, terrific tactic by Huddersfield. Complete your set, 2 long passes, ball high in the air, great chase. This is where you can afford to be aggressive. This is the field position now, you can be really aggressive. But here's the riposte from Leeds because they can shift the ball now.
The cam with Maguire who gets it wide to Hardacre. He bounces Brown out of the way. Wardle was there, so too Darrell Griffin. Ball played to Jamie Jones-Buchanan. There's the punt downfield from Danny Maguire right up the middle of the park. And Scott Griggs is after that and collects it behind his own goal line. The chase arrives from Leeds.
Solid. Rhinos solid. Pressure, Nathan Brown, he knows that they had to improve. There certainly was that high, it was. Jamie Jones-Buchanan, the swinging left arm.
I think he's actually got them for not standing square at the play the ball, you know. That was the signal he's just given.
Well, he's got him not square to the marker, but as far as I was concerned.
Well, that was a win in the collision, wasn't it, for Scott Griggs? 4 Leeds defenders, and he still managed to get up and play the ball quicker. And then was awarded a penalty here. Look, you see the defenders getting involved when they're in an offside position. You win in those mini battles. There were probably 300 that take place in the game, but that little battle that took place then was a win for Huddersfield.
4 minutes gone, and much more endeavour, much more zip from the Huddersfield Giants than there was at Warrington just 7 days ago in the entire match. Robinson is at dummy half. He looks for the runner, it's Griffin. He's halted by Clarkson and Luluwai and Peacock.
Good hit as well by Kyle Luluwai. Really want to get in for it. This is a good position for the Giants here. Combination of the halfbacks.
Brown gets it wide to Cudjoe. Cudjoe ran at Sinfield, put a hand in his throat. Down he goes eventually. Then falls to the ground, plays it to Griggs. Infield it comes to Brown. He then finds Graham Horne.
Will have worked the blind side. Robinson in there at the half-back position.
Robinson waits 10 metres away from the Rhinos line. 2 tackles still in the bag. It's with Danny Brough. He gets it wide. Wardle is brought down by Danny Maguire. That's the last. Falongo now finds Brough. Here's the ball to Kevin Brown. Wonderful defence. Fantastic tackle there by Luluwai.
Was it ever? The step in of the skipper there nearly got them through. Boy, they mean business. This is going to be a better game. Can't see this being one-sided like we got in 3 games last week. They're all getting fired up for it. And talking about the man that's just taken the ball at Ryan Hall, it was tremendous work by the prop Luluwai, but Ryan Hall prevented Huddersfield trying to get the ball out wide. Who has lost that?
No, it was stolen. It was just nicked from him. The referee points a finger. I think it was David Falongo that he decided had pulled the ball out here. Might have been Robinson, though.
This is what it's all about when you get a tackler like this from the prop forward. Kyle Luluwai. They have a tendency to go high, but that was right round the ankles of the skipper, Kevin Brown. Super stuff.
Well, a good start to this match. 6 minutes gone. Leeds now on the front foot. And it's Vadiris who finds Maguire. Maguire then gives it to Luluwai, and he was tackled immediately by Graham Horne. Inside the 20-metre zone. Vadiris to Peacock. He'll trundle it forward as he did last week against the Black and Whites. Underneath those Huddersfield Giants posts, Vadiris gives the ball to Sinfield. Sinfield then back to Webb. Quick hands find Delaney.
This will be the link. Sinfield screaming for the ball. He'll get the first receiver. They'll get it out wide.
No, they've gone the short side. They've gone the short side to Waraki, and that is Ben Jones-Bishop. And he will get the first try for the Rhinos tonight. Unmoved, Brian McDermott, the coach. A try against Hull last week for this young man on his playoff debut. and tries in 3 of the last 4. He missed out here 2 weeks ago, Ben Jones-Bishop, but he has come here tonight and he's got the Rhinos moving early. Ben Jones-Bishop with the try, and after 6 minutes Leeds lead 4-0.
Amazing there, that's a penalty. Stealing the football from that position. Well, we were confused. I certainly was. Looked as though they were screaming for it. Kevin Sinfield on that open side. And Raki, great offload. You can see there the winger had been sucked in. Should have stayed with him. Brough had him, and the winger came at the same time. You can't afford to have 2 men going on for the man that can offload. But he finished it off well.
It's cost them 4 points. It might also cost them the man with the number 4 on his back, because Lee Gilmore, the defender in that tackle, has received treatment ever since. He's limping. He's not sure whether it's the leg or the shoulder. But Danny Brough went in, and that's a signal, I think, from the physio that he's coming off.
Yes, it doesn't look good for Lee Gilmore, does it? The pass from Wella Haraki found Ben Jones-Bishop. Of course, Haraki was here last year on this ground in the playoffs with the Crusaders. He lost last year, hell-bent on not losing here tonight. Whoever loses, remember, it's the end of their season. Sinfield with the white boots, but he's pushed it in front of the post this time. Huddersfield 0, Leeds Rhinos 4.
First real opportunity, the Rhinos, but it was a slick movement out on that blind side. But Ben Jones-Bishop, you'll think that he was very, very fortunate indeed, and you could see there they were caught out. Michael Lawrence really should have pushed himself out, put himself in front of this fella, failed to do it. Result, 4 points.
Yeah, I think the lesson learnt there, Steve-O, is if you're going to fly out of the line, that contact has to be absolutely spot on, and it wasn't with Danny Brough. He read the play very, very well. He just wouldn't be happy with the technique he used in the tackle. And Wella Haraki's a pretty strong player, and it was a fairly simple offload to Ben Jones-Bishop.
It was an expensive try, though, for Huddersfield to concede, as Phil rightly said. Lee Gilmore, they've had to make an early change here. He's making his way very gingerly round the posts, the back of the ground, and he will be into the dressing room, but the pace he's walking, it will be a few minutes yet before he's in there. But that doesn't look good for Gilmore. Might be the end of the match for him, and it would be, of course, a massive problem in terms of interchange as far as the Giants are concerned. That was a good offload by Delaney. Got away with it, the ball went backwards. Clarkson's pass finds Brent Webb, and Maguire is on his inside. Maguire goes to his outside, takes the pass, comes back inside, booms it wide. And here is Hardaker, and 2 tries in quick succession for Leeds. Wonderful try from the Rhinos, that. Great break from Brent Webb, and then a booming pass out wide to Hardaker. And 19-year-old Zach Hardaker, who was in last year's Championship Grand Final for Featherstone, has maybe put Leeds on the road to the next stage of the Engage Super League playoffs in 2011.
Beautiful play by Leeds. It's quite obvious to everybody. Here you see the Delaney get the ball away under a lot of pressure. And once you get into that position, you can see that there were 3 Huddersfield players in. They barely got themselves sorted out. What about the offload? It came on the angle to Brent Webb. How about the communication? The eyeball to eyeball, you come back on the inside. Anybody out there? The answer is N-O. And Hardaker, that's a simple try. But it's clear to everybody here, and the Leeds fans are loving it, that Leeds don't want an arm wrestle. They want to keep this ball alive. They want their skills to come out on top. And let's face it, ever since that second half at Wembley, when they really started to shake the feathers, they've been improving and improving, and there is the proof.
Hardaker's try, but was there a question mark about the offload from Delaney? It was neatly done, but did it stray forward? Sinfield has added the extras, and Leeds are 10-0 ahead.
Well, I'm a big Chris Clarkson fan, and it was an excellent pass from him to Brent Webb. Here's the offload we're going to see. You might say the initial movement to the ball is forward as it comes out of his hand here. Leeds players and supporters think it's gone backwards. Anyway, the referee said that, and the Giants couldn't cope with the pass that came next from Clarkson. Excellent to Webb. Now, earlier in the season when Leeds were losing games, they were throwing passes like that inside of their own half of the field. It wasn't coming off, and they were losing matches. And I remember those Leeds fans booing the coach at that time. They're starting to come off now, it matters.
I think what it is, Phil, is they've got a greater recognition now of when that pass is available, because that came off with they've got a cluster defence there from the offload. Players couldn't get back from Huddersfield, so they're always short, so it was read very, very well.
I think that's a penalty for the grab around the face by Robinson initially there. And maybe Mason straight up a bit high as well. Yes, he did.
Well, he made the impact on the shoulder first, but it was sufficient to make sure that Phil Bentham, the official, gave away the penalty. Well, they're red hot to Leeds and they can't afford to do that. And remember, that's 2 silly penalties that they've allowed to this Leeds outfit, and they are just running hot. They're enjoying it.
Here's Luluai again for the Rhinos, straight up the middle, halted by Griffin though. Badiris has scampered in at dummy half. An NRL Grand Final winner with Newcastle 10 years ago, Danny Badiris. There he is again. Here's another penalty, and Huddersfield, their indiscipline is coming to the fore again.
He knew what he's doing as well. Kevin Brown knew that his side did not get back, had a second push. Obvious that they're going to tap it.
Here's Clarkson.
They're so full of confidence, Eddie. Oh, that blind side looks a little bit weak.
Back up.
Well, they've loaded the right-hand side of Leeds. Here they come this way with Maguire. Back it comes to Sinfield. Now Delaney! Oh, that was a very important tackle that was made there by Danny Brough. Huraki to Sinfield, and here is Peacock. Peacock will take it up the middle, turn his back and keep on walking back towards the posts. Not backwards for Christmas for Peacock, but back towards those posts. Badiris, it was a little bit of a lost pass, but it's turned into a decent one by Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Badiris waits again. They're 5 metres shy of the line. Sinfield will stab the kick in, looking for Brent Webb, and it's shuffled over the dead ball line by Scott Griggs.
He reads the game ever so well, doesn't he, the lead skipper, Kevin Sinfield. Just the right power behind it, just to make sure that Griggs had to shove it back over. They'll get the ball again for another set of 6. They're under the pressure. They're under the pump, aren't they? The Giants, they don't know what's hit them.
But the physicality of this game doesn't allow you to defend for back-to-back set all the time. In other words, repeat. But that's what Huddersfield have been asked to do now, because they've had penalties, they've had tries scored against them, they've not touched the ball for quite a number of minutes, and they're going to have to hang on for another set of 6. This is a very important part of the game, because 7 days ago we saw this team fold under this sort of pressure.
Solid run from Luluai, met by a fierce challenge from Horn, who simply staggers back towards the defensive line, and he's out of that line as well. He took a knock there to Graham Horn. He's the weak link in the defence, but they're going for Sinfield and now Huraki down this right-hand channel.
The inside ball proving all so much of a problem for the Giants at the moment.
It's with Maguire, it comes wide to Webb, and further wide and forward. Forward to Ryan Hall, the try is chalked off.
Not the best pass from the fullback Brent Webb, but the writing is well and truly on the wall, and it's in capital letters. The Giants' defence is all over the place. If that would have been a better pass, you could see McGilvray in no position to make the defence. He's confused as Brent Webb, but the Kiwi, I think maybe after he does watch the replay, it did drift forward slightly.
Huddersfield without Lee Gilmore, Bill.
Yeah, Gilmore has just struggled out of the dressing room. That's where he went immediately after he left the field, and he hobbled out of the dressing room. I have to say, the right knee is heavily iced. He's sitting on the bench, and the Giants not willing yet to ride him off for the rest of the game. They're going to see how he recovers from the bang he's taken to the knee. Such an experienced campaigner, Lee Gilmore, in a situation like this. And another Giants response to the situation, sending Earl Crabtree on now, replacing Keith Mason.
Well, Badiris got the left arm into the carrying arm of Robinson. He's put down the scrum, and it's again more pressure for this Giants outfit.
Yeah, Robinson thought the ball had been stripped from him, but the referee saw it the other way, a knock on, and that's why Leeds are back in possession here with Peacock, who's taken off the bandage around the head and the ears that he had on at the start of the game, and he will play it there. And this now is Maguire, who comes back this way, forward again. 2 forward passes have denied the Leeds Rhinos 8 points.
He's not happy, Danny Maguire, but I think they've got it right. Yeah, just slightly in front.
Goal line, come on.
Well, they're pulling out all the stops, aren't they? All the set pattern moves, and you can see quite clearly there that he was half a metre in front.
It was almost stood in front of him, isn't it? It's almost an offside. It should almost be a penalty. You know, Leeds were in this position 2 weeks ago. They scored the first 2 tries here on this ground, last league match of the season. And I think they're trying to learn from that. They know here they've got their opponents on the ropes. They're trying to find that knockout punch with a 3rd try. 6 more points to give them the comfort of that. And the Giants just have to do whatever they can here now to keep themselves alive in this contest and this season.
You might have caught a glimpse of big Earl Crabtree, who's been thrown on the field to try and give them some go forward. This is Robinson, meanwhile. There he is, Earl Crabtree. He has played in all of Huddersfield's playoff games that they've ever had. Now Falongo.
Interested to see how that Nathan Brown has brought the fullback Scott Griggs into the attacking plan. That's a nice kick. Will it go too deep?
Yes, it does. Yes, he took a chance there, Ben Jones-Bishop. Deep kick from Danny Brough.
Trouble is, it was too deep for Leroy Cudjoe to amount to get the pressure. We'll have to go back. Can't tap it until he says so.
Well, until all the Leeds players are back behind the ball, and Chris Clarkson still wouldn't back in that position.
Hold, lads.
Maguire just pops it up here to Ryan Hall. 2 tries on this ground a couple of weeks ago. 6 tries in Leeds' last 4 visits to this ground, and 1 already chalked off for a forward pass here tonight. Badiris now. Sinfield. Huraki gets the Rhinos to halfway and a little bit more on tackle number 3. Badiris. Peacock. Huddersfield fans shout for a forward pass again. Badiris waits. It's with Sinfield to Maguire. Maguire sends it wide to Hardaker. Was that high? No, the referee says that's the last tackle.
It was more of a slap, wasn't it, really? But, oh, good work on the blind side. He's got him out.
Stab to the in-goal area. Oh, and to the rescue comes Scott Griggs again. He just hammered that ball into the empty stand.
What a bag of tricks is coming out on all the Leeds players. There you saw Jamie Jones-Buchanan not noted for putting a little kick through, and they nearly caught him out.
Do you think that's the trait of a grand final team, when you've got players doing unorthodox plays which put extra pressure on their opponents?
I think what it is, Phil, it's a sign of a confident team, a team full of experienced players who are just prepared to back each other. And I think Leeds at the moment look like a side that could go to the grand final. If I was a Huddersfield supporter, I'd be delighted with the scoreline at the moment, because it should be plenty more.
Well, Ryan Bailey into that first tackle, and I'll tell you something, the knee was raised again. He's got to be very, very careful, Ryan Bailey. He's been warned a number of times about this technique of taking the ball in, and in his first touch, look at that, up it comes again, almost into the groin of Earl Crabtree. Be careful. That'll be the message from Brian McDermott.
That was pretty high there by Danny Brough.
Here he is again, Ryan Bailey. He was banned for this game, then won his appeal on Wednesday. Badiris from the play the ball. That's 4 tackles gone. 5 metres away. Here is Sinfield, short ball to the player of the year, Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Thought about the offload, he hangs on with fingernails. Good job he didn't have them cut this morning. Badiris finds Sinfield, he stabs it across the face of the posts, and
too
it's
strong.
Just gone too long. Now then,
big relief for the Giants.
The grand final season is about to get underway here on Sky Sports.
Well, the crowd's screaming.
Melbourne will take on the New Zealand Warriors tomorrow for the right to get to the NRL Grand Final and face Manly next Sunday at 7 a.m. HD2. That's next Sunday for the NRL Grand Final. Same day, we have the Championship Grand Final day. Workington against Keithley or Rochdale, Championship 1, and Featherstone Lee in the Championship. That's all on Sky. It's not Lee. Lee were beaten last night. It's Sheffield. Featherstone, Sheffield. And then the week later, it's the Grand Final at Old Trafford, 5 o'clock. And it's also in 3D, don't forget, this year's Grand Final.
Nothing going right for the Giants there. Robinson losing possession for the second time on the night. They really are going to have to work hard, the Giants, because Leeds, they are coming out with everything. That Everything bar the kitchen sink here. They're running on the different angles. They remember the break from the fullback Brent Webb. That came about because he came on the angle.
Great work from Danny Maguire, that. Not so great, though. That found the touch judge. Well, he did everything that was difficult. He managed to hang on to the ball, even though it looked like it was going away from him, and then he just flew the pass out wide, and look where it ended, over the top of Ben Jones-Bishop. And the touch judge could have picked that up.
But not only that, the biggest problem that both Michael Lawrence and Leroy Cudjoe, they're interchanging, but they're both going virtually for the same man. If that had been a good pass, then the youngster, Ben Jones-Bishop, would have been flying in at the corner.
Featherstone Sheffield, Sky Sports 3, October the 2nd, the Championship the Championship Grand Final.
You know, Sean, I'm surprised that this combination, Lawrence and Cudjoe, they haven't got it worked out at all. This young kid is going to have a field day if they don't sort it out.
Yeah, well, they're doing a lot of backpedaling at the moment, aren't they, Steve-O? They've had to defend a lot of sets. They've been put under plenty of pressure. They've barely spent any time in the opposition half. And they're players that like to get their hands on the ball. But as I keep making the point, if you defend, when you do get the hands on the ball, a lot of times you're defending with the football in your hands anyway because you haven't got a lot of energy to attack.
Leeds swarming round the claret and gold jerseys of Huddersfield Giants tonight so far. 21 minutes gone, they lead 10-0. Griggs with the short pass away. That's tackle number 4, though. Robinson looks for the runner. It's Falongo, and Crabtree was hunting the offload that never came.
Solid defence again by the Rhinos, though. They find it difficult, the Giants. It'll be a high kick, and it is.
It is. It's high. It's hanging. It's spiralling. But Webb's underneath it.
Great positional play by the New Zealander, Brent Webb there. Just lost it a little bit out of the lights. Now Webb came away from the position where he was tackled. Could have been penalised there.
Well, I'm just fascinated whether Huddersfield can apply any pressure here to Leeds. They've been surviving on a life support machine, just hanging in there for the last 10 or 15 minutes. And Sinfield kicks early and attempted 40-20, or maybe just a plan of getting to the other end of the field.
It's a fantastic kick from Sinfield.
And look at the chase, Eddie. They are really up for this, the Rhinos. I get the impression that Scott Griggs, well, I don't think he's 100%. He was ambling back for that kick. No doubt that the Leeds coach, Brian McDermott, will have picked up on that one. Maybe Leeds will start opting to kick on the third like they did just then.
Crabtree's winding up. 3 of them, though, get to him, bring him down.
Hold Danny. Go, third.
Robinson was outside the 40 mark, and that's a shame for him because it's almost found the touchline, almost. Brent Webb had to change his step there to dance around it. That's good defence, though, from Huddersfield. Wardle and Brown.
What an amazing kick that was. I mean, the ball virtually spun backwards and stopped about a quarter of an inch from the touchline.
The runner is Ali Lauer-TT.
Not a bad option as well by Brian McDermott. Just knows that the big fella can offload.
Sinfield finds Haraki. Haraki goes between 2 of them.
And look at that, 3rd and 4th tackle now. But they're in the opposition half, they're controlling things, they know it as well.
Delaney back in the centres for the past couple of weeks. He was very good last week against Hull, very impressive. There's the high kick again. This is a tester. Oh, I didn't think he fancied it, and Hardaker gets his 2nd try. And Jermaine McGilvray's not given it yet, the referee.
If he's onside, Ian.
He's just checking whether he's onside, Hardaker, but McGilvray looked very uncomfortable underneath this high ball.
Well, it's certainly one man in front of the kicker. But
Depends
I think
who he is, if he's not got involved.
Well, I don't think he's a long way off of getting involved into the 10 metres, so this should be A-OK. That was shocking. I'm sorry, but that is not of high quality. Never really made any attempt, and this should be TRY. And the Rhinos again running rampant.
It was a high spiralling bomb, and well, McGilvray just didn't look as though he was comfy with it at all. And I think it was Peacock who was the man in front, but he's not involved in any of that, and he's not involved here when the ball bounces to Hardacre, and they're checking the grounding. This is going to be allowed. Zach Hardacre with his second try. 15 days to go to the big one, and a try for Zach Hardacre. And who would back Leeds not to be at Old Trafford on the 8th of October in the form that they're showing in this playoff series?
Isn't it amazing? We had not got through half of the season, Eddie, when the Leeds fans were wanting to get rid of their new coach, Brian McDermott. But boy, haven't they turned it around. This was shocking, I'm sorry. Jermaine McGilvray, his head would go down in shame on that one. He made no attempt for it. It was a gift in the end. Hardacre to get try number 2. Just completely lost it, and it's positional. He looked nervous, jittery, and the crowd love it. They feel pretty confident that it's going to be the Rhinos going through to next weekend.
Well, before all that, of course, Wigan and Catalan Dragons have to settle their differences on Sunday, and then we'll have the third of these club calls. It's Warrington's turn to pick, and well, the way this game's going, as Sinfield adds the extras, it looks at this stage like it might be Leeds or Wigan or the Catalan Dragons, and I wouldn't like that selection dilemma, would you?
No, it's going to be very difficult indeed. In fact, I think it's been made quite clear, hasn't it, that the Warrington coach doesn't want a bar of it. That a lot of people suggested that he might even just flip a coin. Doesn't matter, they've got to beat somebody to get to the grand final, they know that.
He'll leave it up to the chief executive or the chairman. I think Stephen Broomhead is going to be the man who'll announce who Warrington will pick in our studio after the game at Wigan on Sunday. We'll also hear from representatives of all the clubs who will be there, and we will reflect on the choice that Warrington will be making. But it's going to be difficult this year, Phil.
It is, yeah. You know, and talk about things that are difficult. This is difficult now for Huddersfield. I love insurmountable challenges and what people throw down. That's what faces this Huddersfield team. They've never come from behind in Super League at half-time this year to win a game. Now we're asking them in a playoff with that invisible curtain of pressure falling on them here now to come from 16 points behind. It's still within the reach, Eddie. 3 converted tries. They've got almost 60 minutes to score them, but there's a massive test, and McGilvery's through the gap.
What a response from that mistake from McGilvray. Tremendous run from him, and he's still going.
And that's the first break that the Giants have had in this match. 26 minutes gone. That could lift their spirits. It certainly needed something.
Leeds better not be counting their chickens just yet with a run like that from McGilvray.
Well, I was just going to make the point that it rather surprised me that Leeds kept the ball low after the big error from McGilvray. I would have tested him again, but they kept it low, handled it, and made the break.
This is Danny Brough now, coming in field and taking the tackle. And I think that's Wella Huraki got a boot in the face there, but the play continues on the far side.
Now then, can the Giants ask a few questions?
Well, this is the last tackle, and Robinson gives it to Brough. He'll slide the kick in behind Brett Delaney. He was looking for Dale Ferguson, and Ferguson a great chase. It's a goal line dropout. And this has all come about as a result of that tremendous break from Jermaine McGilvray and all the pressure.
And not a bad little kick, was it, by Danny Brough. They've had not many opportunities. As I said before this, it was Hardacre that just got pushed out of the way. That's the first break by the Giants, and now they've got another set of 6. Danny Brough has done so often throughout many seasons. Well, congratulations to that guy, because he knew he'd come up with a huge error.
Onside. Hey, done it.
I think it's really important now for Huddersfield to make sure they continue the pressure. You don't necessarily have to score on a repeat set, but what you've got to do is make your opposition tackle for the next set of 6, try to get another repeat set if you can, and of course the best possible result is to score a try. Leeds have been able to do it successfully so far and have actually had 2 chalked off.
Brown attacking the line. Oh, it's an interception. Picked up by Huraki.
He read it well. He read it well. We all know how Brown likes to just bring someone very short to him in an offload, and Huraki said, I'll take that. I know what he's going to do.
Well, everything they're trying, Huddersfield's not coming off for them at the moment.
It's a massive gamble, that, from Wella Haraki. Defend your own line. 16 points to 0 up in the playoffs to go for the interception. Again, needs its gamblers, and he took it.
And talking of gambling, there's the one Brian McDermott throws on off the bench, Rob Barrow. This could create more problems for the Giants.
Sure, Burrow isn't content with a place on the bench, but if that's the way the cards are dealt at the moment, for the time being, Rob Burrow will have to accept that. That's a great catch by Grix, who's off down the line, but Maguire gets to him, pulls him down. Here's Leroy Cudjoe.
Should have got it out wide straight away. It's allowed the Leeds defence to get themselves sorted out. There were 4 or 5 Rhino players out of position. It needed a good link. It didn't come.
Here's Brown now. Short ball, he gets it away. Burrow again round the legs of Joe Wardle. Brown is the dummy half. He finds David Fayumu. Crabtree was the runner, gives it to Robinson. Here is Brough. And Brough sees a little hole and goes for it. Eventually Delaney cuts him down and gets the penalty, does Danny Brough.
Delaney's second push. Few verbals thrown at each other. That's more like it. Nathan Brown, the coach, will be pleased with that. Little doubt that Delaney had a second go.
So here comes Crabtree on the charge after this Huddersfield penalty. This is a golden opportunity for the Giants now. Robinson. And it's Lon Patrick, and Leeds are caught offside. Oh no, it's a high tackle.
Quick tap, that's what they've got to go for. Well, they look a bit confused at the Giants. What are we going to do? Get on with it.
They do, and Fayumu will run at those posts. And Fayumu is held up over the line. So they'll take it back 10 metres, and the tackle count will continue.
Good work by Lauatiti. Good upper body strength. Fayumu, no chance of getting the ball down.
Brown gets the ball away. Oh, and a big collision.
Yeah.
Bailey gets to his feet. And Grix has gone without it. Play on, says the referee.
Well, there's one thing making your mind up and saying I'm going to go on my own. The other thing is make sure you got the ball in your hands.
Well, again, Eddie, Leeds are showing the traits needed to get to the grand final and possibly even win it. Scoring when you have chances at one end of the field, and then being able to defend your try line. That goal line defence, so important. Teams will get there at certain points in the 80 minutes, but preventing them from posting points is a key to success this time of year.
Ryan Hall just receiving treatment in back play as Lauatiti makes a half break, and he's got support from Maguire, and it was a very important ankle tap by Earl Crabtree.
Just couldn't take it in, Maguire. Lauatiti, as he's done for many, many years. It was Danny Brough that made contact that got the ball away from Maguire. But the opportunities are coming Leeds' way, and a little bit of claret running from the left eyebrow of the skipper, Kevin Sinfield, but what a talent this guy is, Lauatiti.
On his way to Wakefield in 2012. His Leeds career will come to an end this year. Where will it end? Will it end here? Will it end next week? Will it end at Old Trafford? So a chance for Huddersfield again here.
They're desperate for a score, and they know it. And then if whatever they've got up their sleeves in regards to a pattern.
Oh, great ball! Falongo gets it away, and Wardle is halted by Ryan Hall.
What a tackle by the winger.
What wonderful hands as well. And what great defence on their own line by Leeds to halt Luke Robinson. There's Wardle again, fires the pass to Grix. Grix looking to go left, has to go right, and down a blind alley. Clarkson brings him to ground. Robinson once again goes down the right-hand side, finds Brown. Kevin Brown, he's gone without it, it was stolen. Well, the penalty count's mounting for Nathan Brown's men. They're getting the rub of the green off the referee. There's argy-bargy between Bailey and Crabtree. I wouldn't like to pick a fight with either of those two.
And boy, they were meaning it. There was no handbags on show there, and that's good work by the official, Phil Bentham.
And this is the 4th penalty in a row for the Huddersfield Giants.
No doubt about it, Bailey stole the ball. Nathan Brown said, let's get on with it. The referee says,
Can't have any of that, or else get easy for me, I'll sit you down. Okay, sort it out between yourselves. Sweet.
Ryan Bailey was sent off at Headingley in April with Luke O'Donnell. So he has a troublesome past against this club.
Do you know something? Brian McDermott will be upset with that because they have wanted not to get involved with an arm wrestle, making it rough and tough. They've kept the ball going from one side to the other, running angles, and Brian McDermott is saying, listen, you're lifting the opposition.
Here's Crabtree now. Talking about lifting the opposition, he's trying to lift 3 of them over the line with him. That's how close they are. Robinson will give it to Patrick. Oh, great defence, Lautiti and Sinfield. Robinson again. Brown coming this way, down another blind alleyway, loses the ball. Oh, Huddersfield.
All that possession, so many penalties. And that is the one thing that Brian McDermott will be happy about, is the fact that their defence has kept calm, cool and collected.
Haraki injured.
Nobody coming out of the line. They are working overtime for each other. Confused look on the face of the skipper, Kevin Brown.
Let's get down to Bill for some news.
Eddie Haraki has been struggling for the last 5-10 minutes in actual fact. Remember that intercept he went for and then he was brought down. He was hurt as he went down. There was concern about him at that moment, but he's played on since then, but he's obviously struggling, trying to make it till half-time. Ryan Hall will need patching up as well because of the collision he was involved in. Doesn't look as though we're going to see Lee Gilmore back for the Giants, though. That knee injury, he's gone back to the dressing room for more treatment. They're not saying he's out of it. They're not very hopeful about him coming back.
That's not good news for Huddersfield. In this playoff, 16-0 down and 1 man down as well now by the looks of it.
Go on,
Burrow.
Come on.
Could be a big loss as well to the Rhinos. Haraki. He's in fine form. He's having a good game.
That was a real gift from Lautiti to Burrow. This is where Haraki gets injured.
Got a collision with Lan Patrick.
Hold. Go.
Bailey plays the ball on the last to Burrow, and Sinfield pumps the ball over the top. That's a great kick from Sinfield. Griggs will run it back.
Just picks him out, doesn't it? And who's first man there? The skipper. Talk about leading your side. Showing a wonderful example. But the pressure that the Giants had, you just think they've got to melt. This Leeds defence has got to give in, and they didn't.
3, move.
5.5 to half-time. 16-0, the Leeds advantage. And a lovely run from Danny Brough. Turning Brindleb inside out. And that's touched in flight. It finds its way to Michael Lawrence. It's 6 to go. Brough with the break, and Brough with the pass to Brown. Infield it comes to Griggs. Griggs going up the middle. Great try, Huddersfield. Beautiful, he says, Nathan Brown. It was a break from Danny Brough that had Leeds on the back foot. And they kept the pressure going with 6 to go. And Scott Griggs over for the try under the posts. Just what Nathan Brown and the Huddersfield Giants wanted.
Super play though. Danny Brough realised that the 2 markers had not got themselves set. Ball came off the hands of Ben Jones-Bishop. And quick play the ball, and what about the step from the fullback? Absolutely left the defence for the first time, clutching thin air. What's the balance of that? Oh, that is sensational. It takes a good defender to stop this. The handoff on Maguire. The Giants, they've got a sniff. They're back in it. It looks as though they're going to be taken apart by the Rhinos. They've dug deep.
The first try that Huddersfield have scored in 115 minutes of playoff football this year.
Well, it probably, Eddie, has come on the back of the fact that the last 4 penalties in this match have all been awarded to the Huddersfield side. Those 4 penalties have helped them get 6 points on the board and give them a chance in this match.
16-6 lead still ahead, but exactly what the Huddersfield fans, the Huddersfield coach and the Huddersfield players want. Beautiful, he says.
We keep saying it, Eddie, don't we, that you can only win matches if you keep asking questions, and Danny Brough certainly did that. It was so quick. The dummy half position, he could see that the Leeds defence, and Brian McDermott knows that they were just caught out in and around that play the ball area. Oh, well done. That looks as though it was going to go over the dead in goal line.
And Crabtree winds himself up for a run at Bailey. Well done, Griggs. It was arrowing its way over the dead ball line, wasn't it?
Got to be careful, Leeds. Don't give away a silly penalty. The Giants, for once, they've got the enthusiasm.
There's another penalty to Huddersfield.
Just losing the plot slightly at the Rhinos.
5 in a row.
And everyone is spot on by the official Phil Bentham. That is a great kick downfield. He knows there's Brian McDermott, that his side could be under pressure.
They are with 3 minutes of this first half remaining. And Crabtree again straight at Bailey. Down he goes with a bit of help from Luluai. Here is Robinson. They've got the tails up. And that's Fayumu who broke the line. Brough wants it played quickly. He finds Brown. Brown gives it back here. Through. Griggs went away from Maguire. Now it's Brown. Brown then pops it up to Lon Patrick. Suddenly Huddersfield have got some belief in themselves. It's Brough. Comes to Brown. And Brown gives it short to Crabtree. Oh, if he could have just stepped another step, then he was in. Here is Fayumu. Held up just short. Frustration for Nathan Brown. Short ball, Crabtree again. Somehow Leeds hold him up, the big man.
Great work by Clarkson. Smothered any chance of an offload.
Brough stabs the ball through, and it's gobbled up, and then he's pushed over the line, and unfairly you can't do that. The tackle was completed. Clarkson was then bundled over the line, and hence the penalty comes to the Leeds Rhinos. That's a relief.
Look at the big run. He just wanted to step there. And they tried to keep him there, and Nathan Brown says, move it, move it. They couldn't. There's the one, and then they give away a penalty.
It wasn't Clarkson, it was Hardaker, my mistake. Hardaker, the man who was tackled unfairly.
Well, you mentioned Chris Clarkson there, perhaps because of the fact he's there again with possession. He's the top tackler for Leeds. Not only has he made the most, but he's probably made the most important ones in the game. So many in the centre of the field that have helped to keep his side still with a 10-point advantage.
Well, Crabtree's lucky not to concede a penalty to Rhinos there.
Well, there's just 1 minute remaining of this first half, and I can assure you that the skipper, Kevin Sinfield, will be saying, let's just calm it down. Field position is important. We want to go into the half-time with a 16-6 lead.
Wait, goal 4.
Here is Burrow, that's Webb, here is Delaney. Good work on the last tackle from Delaney, midway inside the Giants' half of the field. The kick, surely from Danny Maguire, all along the deck, gaining ground and finds touch on that far side. Just winds the clock down a few more seconds towards half-time.
And he knows what a psychological lift it will be. Turned it around, didn't they? The Giants, they came back, Griggs with the try, and then another set of 6 got them so close.
He's just shouted to everybody, watch the kick, because the time, well, it's not going to be halted. They're not going to get this game going again after that. They took such an age, both sides, to get to the scrum. You would have thought Huddersfield might have fancied a quick dash at the line in the last few seconds of the half, but the Rhinos fans are happy enough that the team is turning around with a 16-6 half-time lead. But the response from Huddersfield has been magnificent in the last 10 minutes of that first half. Griggs' try and Brough's goal, just reward for them. But before that, it was Ben Jones-Bishop and 2 from Zach Hardaker. Leeds look coasting at 16-0, but at 16-6 at half-time, it's a slightly different story now.